Class, at this station, we're going to be learning about percent. So I want to start with just that word and what it means. Percent, put a box around the cent part. When we think of the word cent, like a cent that's a penny or a centimeter or a centipede, I know that cent really means 100. So the word percent means part per 100. This means that given a part and a whole, we can divide the part by the whole to get a decimal, then convert to a percent by moving the decimal 2 places to the right. So for example, if Elena gets 31 out of 47 on her test, I can divide 31, the part, by 47, the whole, and get 0.66. I move my decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 66%. If Jonathan gets 50 out of 47 on his test, my part, 50, is actually bigger than my whole because he must have gotten bonus points. So I divide 50 by 47, and I get 1.06. Move the decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 106%. Percent can be greater than 100. So we're going to do a couple of examples together here. Let's read number 1. It says, what percentage of $1 is the value of each coin combination? Now, the beauty of using a dollar is that it's already 100 in a way because it's one whole 0.00. So we're going to think in those terms. So if I have 4 dimes, I'm going to take 4 times 10 because a dime is 10 cents, and that's going to give me 40 cents. Now I need to ask myself, what part of 100 is that 40 cents? So I'm going to take 40 divided by 100. I'm not sure why it's changing colors on me, but we're just going to go with it. That's going to equal 0.40 because I have 40 hundredths. If I move my decimal 2 places to the right, that's going to give me 40%. So that's my final answer is 40%. Let's go down to B. B is 1 nickel and 3 pennies. So I know that I have my 5 cents. So I'm going to start with my 5 plus 3 times 1 because a penny is worth 1. So that's going to give me a total of 5 plus 3, which gives me 8. So I'm talking about $1. So I take 8, my part, over 100, my whole, and that's going to give me 0.08 because I have 8 hundredths. So that's going to give me 8% because when I move my decimal 2 places to the right, I get 8%. I'd like you to pause the video and try C on your own. Look up when you're done. So let's work out C. 5 quarters. I'm going to take 5 and I'm going to multiply it by 25 because a quarter is 25 cents. And I'm going to add 10 cents because I have 1 dime. So if I do this multiplication, 5 times 25 is 125 plus 10 gives me 135. Now I'm noticing that this is actually more than 100, but we talked about how percent can be more than 100. So I'm going to take my part, 135, over my whole, $1 or 100. And when I divide that, I'm going to get 1.35. And to convert that to a percent, I simply move my decimal 2 places to the right, and I get 135%. All right, a little tougher on this next one. Number 2, For each problem, explain or show your reasoning. A. 160 is what percentage of 40? So 40 is coming after of, meaning 40 is my whole. I'm going to label that W. 160 is my part. So to solve this one, I have to set up two equivalent ratios, thinking that percent means part of 100. So I take my whole 160, my part 160, over my whole 40, and I know that that's going to equal something. So since you guys are working with variables now, we're going to call our something x over 100. Okay, to solve for x, I'm now going to cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply my 160 by my 100. And that's going to give me 160 plus 2 zeros, or 160,000, equals, cross multiply the other side, 40x. Now, to solve for x, I need to divide, because division is the opposite of multiplication. So I'm going to divide by 40 on this side, which means I have to do it on my other side as well. So I have 16,000 divided by 40, which is going to give me 400. So my answer is actually 400%. Box your answer so it's clear. Let's go on to B. I'm going to show you B as well. Same process. 40 is 160% of what number? So that tells me that 40 is my part, and I don't know my whole because it says of what number. So that's my unknown. So I have 40 over x equals, now if it's 160%, I know that percent is part of 100. So my equivalent ratio is going to be 160 over 100. Same thing, I'm cross multiplying. So I'm going to do 40 times 100. That's going to give me 4,000 equals, cross multiply the other side, 160x. I know that when a number is next to a variable like this, that means multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I have to divide this side by 160. If I do it on one side of the equal sign, I have to do it on the other side of the equal sign. So I take 4,000 divided by 160, and that's going to give me 25. So that tells me that 40 is 160% of 25. I want you to pause the video and try C on your own. Press play when you're ready to go over it. Okay, here's C. What number is 40% of 160? 160 comes after my of, so that is my whole. I don't know my part because that's the what number. So I'm going to say x, my part, over 160 equals, from my is in my problem, 40%. I know percent means part of 100. So I'm going to write 40 over 100. Cross multiply. 160 times 40 is going to give me 6,400 equals 100x. I can do this one mentally because dividing by 100 simply means I can take away these two zeros. So 64 is my answer. 64 is 40% of 160. Okay, 2 more problems. Number 3. A store is having a 20% off sale on all merchandise. Merchandise, above that just means stuff they sell. If Mai buys one item and saves $13, what was the original price of her purchase? Explain or show your reasoning. Word original. Put a box around that. Original means first or beginning. So this problem is requiring us to think about how much did Mai's item cost before she bought it at 20% off? What was the price before the discount? I don't know how much Mai paid. I only know how much she saved, 13%, or it's $13. So $13 is going to be my part. Do I know the whole? No. So that's my x. 13, my part over my whole, is going to equal 20% of 100, or 20 over 100, because $13 is equivalent to 20% of the original price. So now I'm going to cross multiply. 13 times 100 is 1,300 equals 20x. To solve for x, I have to do the opposite of multiplication. So I need to divide by 20. Oops, sorry. Divide by 20 on the right, divide by 20 on the left. So I do 1,300 divided by 20, and I'm getting $65. So the original price of Mai's item was $65. Number 4, I'm going to set it up and then have you try to solve independently. So let's read it. It says the original price. Box original. We know that original means the first. So the first price of a scarf was $16. During a store closing sale, a shopper saved $12 on the scarf. What percentage discount did she receive? Explain or show your reasoning. So here's what I know. I know that the part is $12 because that's how much she saved. I don't know the discount, but I do know that the original price was $16. So what we can do is we can say 12 per discount, the part, over 16, that's my whole, equals is what part of 100? Okay, now that we've set it up, pause the video and try to solve for x independently. Press play when you're ready to review. Okay, let's review. 12 times 100 is going to give me 1,200, which equals 16x. To solve for x, do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So I'm going to divide by 16 on both sides of my equal sign. So I take 1,200, divide it by 16, and I get 75%. 75 parts of 100. All right, if you still have additional time, go ahead and click on the next part of your blend space.